Hello. I don't know how to place the camera. Is this good enough?
Yeah, right there. Right there is good. Right
Ah,
side up. Mm-hmm.
ah.
Perfect. Perfect. Thank you for joining.
So good to see you, my dear friend. So good to hear you.
Blessings. It's good to be seen. Good to be heard. It hasn't been that long, Beata.
No, not at all, but being in your present, you know, it's uh it's a very beautiful treat. So
Mhm. Well,
yeah, it's nice to be close to your presence. Yeah,
like
even talking to you
likewise.
makes a big difference.
Yeah. Thank you. Thank you. And what do you feel has transpired or even elevated any new explorations or any new realizations since our retreat in Sedona?
Yes, so many, so many. I'm actually learning so much about myself
Mm-hmm.
since I'm changing my life to the different direction.
Mm-hmm.
I'm learning how to let go stuff. I'm learning how to be brave all over again. Um, I'm learning the new way of gratitude. Like, how do I say it? What I'm experiencing, actually, I'm experiencing so much of abundance around me.
Mm-hmm.
And this is new to me because usually when change happens, we're afraid of it. And then I'm discovering totally new avenue.
Mm-hmm.
Like, as more as I see good stuff around me happening, it bolts even more forward.
Mm-hmm.
And my plan, my dream is so visible, and then I feel very content with my decisions.
Mm-hmm.
Um,
Yeah.
so and then at the same time, I see this is very, like, I see how I manifested forward and how I am manifesting right now
Mm-hmm.
even further, because every single time when I go forward with the gratitude, it comes even more
Mm.
toward me. So it's lining up, and this is very, very new for me and very visible on the spot.
Awesome. Awesome. Wow. Congratulations.
Thank you.
Yeah. When it comes to this new way of gratitude, what do you feel is this new way of being grateful, and where do you feel this contentment has come from?
So we tend to forget that we've been doing always pretty good job. We
Mm-hmm.
always shoot for the stars. No matter where we end in our life, we always do the best, right? Every single decision is based on the best ability of choosing from the knowledge we have.
Mm-hmm.
And we tend to forget that we many times you want to improve ourselves more, we're looking for what to do better and stuff, but when you look around you, take time to see how beautiful life you have created till now, what you went through, how awesome you are, how brave you were. Then looking forward is just like, let's have a party, let's
Yeah.
have a ball. I have all the tools already. I have all the muscles. I already grew them. Now I just want to juggle all my balls.
I see. I see. Wow. Wow. That's powerful. So it begs the question, what within this year do you feel has been a moment of bravery for you?
Yes. When anytime ask me if I'm going with him to South Africa, my heart yelled
Okay.
yes, but my mind wasn't prepared for it. So the evening
Right.
afterwards was different, but yeah, so that was Also, now because of you asked that, I realized that this is actually how I love to live. That I like, how do I say this? Where is the need showing in my life, I like to follow and fulfill it.
Okay.
So if there is anything missing, I want to put, I want to make sure that I have this one way or the another, and then to complete the picture of mine that
Okay.
way.
Okay. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And you know, I like how in your bio, Beata, it talks about being a world traveler. You know, you're not only a child specialist, you know, you deal with neuro speech, you rise the Kundalini, you also make shift with the, you know, the Merkaba. You have so many ways of, you know, maneuvering throughout this matrix that we call life. But you're also a world traveler. So what jumped out at you when you heard about the trip to Africa?
Sort of like completing myself. Like I feel like I'm part of the whole world. Like I have part of Siberian person in me, part of Egyptian person in me. Like I feel like I wanna, like there is part of me everywhere. So it was like this childlike idea, oh, I'm going to play.
Mm,
I don't know what exactly I'm going to be doing. I don't know how and how long it's going to take,
mm,
but I know it's going to be fun. I know it's going to be so many new things happening that will expand my consciousness, allow me to practice my new knowledge,
mm.
and that way I'll just grow and have more fun, you
Yes.
know.
Yes, absolutely. You know, and for those who may never have met you before, when it comes to growing your consciousness, when it comes to energy cultivation, what do you feel like has been something significant that you've learned over the years that has impacted you in such ways when it comes to really building that energy? Because we had some talks even in the airport before we left that was really powerful. You know, you were really teaching me a lot about energy cultivation, things that I didn't know before.
Thank you, likewise. I think, now when I think about my profession and how I live my life, I think the biggest way to cultivate energy for me is to be with other people, to serve.
Mm,
I really feel very fulfilled and happy and joyful when I know that another person is happy. And if I can help in the process of fulfilling that, it's or being a witness.
mhm,
I think this, and children, mothers, women, yeah, but human the most, to
mhm.
serve the service. Yes.
Okay, so being in service. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Wow, wow. So wonderful. You know, it's like they say the secret to living is giving, you know?
Oh, thank you. Beautiful. Yes.
Yeah, yeah. So I remember hearing something from Gandhi, and it was to the effect of the best way to find yourself is to lose yourself in the service of others, you know?
Beautiful.
So
Beautiful.
yeah, so do you feel like that's something that you're even going more into as of right now?
Yes, exactly. Even with the whole walk, planning the whole trip,
Mm,
it feels like I'm losing everything and I'm leaving behind everything I built in here in Chicago.
mm,
I'm going to the different globe and a different side of the globe.
yeah.
And this is leaving my profession, leaving the friends, leaving the family, everything that I knew and built until now. But
Mm,
at the same time, right away, with the idea of losing, what I'm gaining is that my home is inside of me. So
mm,
wherever I'll go, I can build the same or better. I
mhm.
already know how to build it.
Yeah.
I've done it so many times. So,
Mhm. Wow.
yeah.
Wow. So your home is within. Your home is where the heart is. It's inside.
Yes, yes. Yes. So again, you have to lose it in order to find it.
Ooh, okay.
So the whole process with the trip, I had no idea that it's going to be as deep. To
Mm,
tell you the truth, I was just like only thinking about joy, like remembering the time when I was a kid going somewhere with family. I
mm,
was recalling the same stuff, and they are showing up. I'm very excited.
mm-hmm.
At the same time, I'm very serious about it, and at the same time, I'm very, it's so new to me. It's
Right.
motivating, but it's also scary at some points, which is like good way of scary, you know, like also always like motivating you
Okay.
to touch it, you know, like you can't pass by, you have to touch it, you have to taste it.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So what about it is scary in a good way, you'd say?
So it's like fear, every emotion is good. Like every emotion is just an emotion. The difference is that some of them are either expanding us or suppressing a little bit. So fear is a big emotion, but then if you think about it, it can feel like a butterflies in your stomach
Right.
moving you forward because it's something new, something that you're eager to uncover and
Mm-hmm.
put out.
Wow, that is deep. That is deep. So it's almost like we can reframe or reclaim the way that we see these things. Yeah.
Yes, yes. The actually the yes, the way how you see it.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Wow. When it came to these types of emotions and the ones in terms of expansion or suppression, what do you feel was the emotion that suppressed you most in life?
Being scared,
Okay, so fear.
being fear, being afraid, being scared, survival, how to get stuff. Yes, being afraid, and I think that's also my biggest motivation.
Mm,
That's my biggest motivation. Yes, I turn it into the motivation because every time I was afraid in my life and scared of anything, I was always sustained. I
mm,
always got what I needed. So
mm.
when I look back, it was just an emotion that I didn't know how to deal with. Now I know. So I turned it to my benefit.
Okay. Okay. Wow. And this, this
It
also,
sounds simple.
yeah, you know, it does sound simple. It's so,
Mhm.
yeah. It also reminds me of the fear that usually surrounds fasting, you know,
Mhm.
when we talk about chronic nourishment, chronic living, and consuming on another a level of consciousness, you know, when it comes to intaking that pranic energy. A lot of people have a fear surrounding fasting, a fear surrounding letting go. But when you move past the fog of your fear, at times you may find freedom on the other side and the feeling that you are sustained, you know. So did you ever have to traverse through that fear when it came to letting go of food or common consumption?
Yes,
Okay.
yes, I have. And this is the same process. This is surrendering
Mm.
and being in the flow. Surrender. Yes, allow yourself to be in the flow. Yes. Same thing with the food. You can be afraid of it. You can be afraid of letting go. But when the feeling shows up and it's strong, the energy you cultivate is strong enough on the other side. The engine is open up as wide as you can feel full benefit of it, then you go with the feeling. It's just it's you can't go back. So same thing here, when you start realizing that fear can be motivator and can really show you that this is, hey, this is something that you never tried.
Mm-hmm.
Let's see what it is. Let's just observe first, you know. It's not as scary as you think, and then you start looking at it and it's become interesting. Then
Mm-hmm.
it smells nice, then it looks even better, and you come coming closer and closer, and then it's like your GPS. Hey, whenever I'm fearful, I want to see what it is, you know.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yeah. Wow. So what can you say about pranic living was the one thing that really piqued your curiosity? Like what really pierced you and said, you know what, I want to learn further. Like I want to go deeper into whatever this is.
Well, beautiful question. Thank you for this question. So I actually heard the sentence that we're working for light,
Mm,
and that really hit my spot. I literally took it that I am hired by company light,
mm,
you know, by God, by prana, by energy, which gives me such a ease thinking that I'm always going to be paid on time. I'm never going to be let go.
mm,
I'm always going to be honored and respected. And as much as I put in, I'll get back
mm.
even more with whatever I'll do. That gave me, so that's what it was. It was just like, what am I waiting for? I'm working for light. I'm always going to be protected. I'm always, that opened up the door for me. That was the moment when I'm like, wow, that
Wow.
is nothing else, you know, let's just go and do it. I
Okay.
don't need to know anything else.
Okay. So the feeling that you would always be safe and secure, the feeling that you're always protected.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
So,
And it's all, in my opinion, it's all about like raising my own frequency. If I want to be more protective, this is how I'm going to raise my energy up
mm,
to the point that I feel that way, you know?
mhm.
So it's up to me. And this is the best feeling. This is a full responsibility of myself for myself. And
Yeah.
this is what I'm expecting. So it cannot be better than that, you know?
Right. Right. That's a great way to look at it, you know? And it's like the more that energy rises, the more you are protected, the more
Mm-hmm.
that energy is reflected and respected, you know, and the more you are connected. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
I love it. I love it. Wow. Can you talk about like the cultivation of energy for a second? Because when it came to energy cultivation, I remember you talking about if we were able to teach children, you know, how to rise that energy or that Kundalini energy or how to cultivate their own energy, that they might not even be going out to seek external forms, you know, whether it be in a thing, a person, you know, if they understood how
Yes.
that felt.
Yes, yes, this is a big project of mine. I've been working on it for a while and thinking, putting some research into it. And my theory is if we will teach children, they already run on Kundalini. They have no idea what's going on. They just feel great. They feel full of energy, full of happiness. This is Kundalini, right? And then so the time comes in when they start growing and starting to use sexual and starting to use energy as a spilling it out as we do it as adults because there is no other education around.
Mm,
So if we help them how to cultivate, if we teach them how to cultivate it, how to keep it inside for their own benefits, for creation, this is when they can become even healthier, even smarter, and uncover more of the abilities they have to show us.
mm,
And they won't have to go through the road that most of us went, you know.
okay.
So this is beautiful, but it has to start from us. We need to learn that first. We need to cultivate it, practice it, so they can see it, they
Mm,
can feel it,
mm.
and it can become normal to them.
Right, right. Like a new normal, you know?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And this has been something that you've been cultivating for, I'd say, like over 20 years, correct?
Yes. Yes.
Okay, okay.
Yes.
So what is your new normal, would you say, when it comes to this?
So for a long time, I didn't know what it means and what I was doing. I was just simply um, trying to run on good mood, let's say.
Mm,
to raise my good mood, to feel good. And my Kundalini was raising over the years very slowly and very gently. And when I look back at it, it shows as a huge creation. I created a business while working full time. I created circles of women, raising children on my own without support. Like now, when I look back, I'm like, how did I find time for it? When did I do all of that? You know?
Mm-hmm.
But cultivating this Kundalini energy, that's what it was.
Mm-hmm.
The creation behind it, you know? The whole new line of therapy for children has been developed. And then I'm like, you know, so now I see it how that works. So it's very important for us to know that if we don't spill it outside, we can use it for creation. It's a creative energy. Kundalini is it's a life energy.
Right.
So we can create either new life or we can create whatever we want with it. And it's a force that it really makes you create.
Yeah. Yeah. Ah, thank you for sharing that. You know, that there's so many forms of creation that we have yet to explore. You
Mm-hmm.
know, we often only look at the few forms that we're used to when it comes
Yes.
to creation, but there's so many. Yeah.
Yes, and especially children when they stepping into adulthood life, they need to know that creation is not only creating a child when you're growing up.
Mm,
It's not the ultimate goal.
mm,
You can create so much. The new life is just one part of the creation, right?
mhm. Yeah. Yeah. Why weren't we taught this? You know?
I know. I know. Frozen knowledge.
Also, so it's like frozen knowledge that is now unthawed. It's like thawing out and coming to light.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay.
Like Bretharian knowledge, same thing.
Frozen knowledge, you know, because I didn't know anything coming up about cultivation. I didn't know anything about frequency, energy, and vibration. I didn't know anything even about meditation like 10 years ago. You know,
Yeah.
I was just scratching the surface of the possibilities for me in switching my own paradigms, you know? When it comes when it comes to even tantra, you know, there was a lot that was undiscovered, you know, for me,
Yes.
and I had to uncover it for myself. But it was very eye-opening. I think the very first time that I even felt Kundalini energy was during a long meditation, a long qigong session that I was standing for like maybe 45 minutes, and I did this meditation from Jasmine. It was called the love meditation, where you just focus on love energy. And something happened to me, Beata. Something switched. Like you talked about the engine, you know, that engine.
Mm-hmm.
Something came into alignment in my body. And it was like this electricity all up and down my spine, up and down, up and down, up and down. And it was all day long, you know? Like I got so emotional. I wanted to, like, tears wanted to come because I couldn't understand how I was feeling orgasmic when sex had not taken place, you
Yes.
know?
Yes.
It
How
blew my.
beautiful.
Yeah.
Beautiful.
Yeah. So it blew my mind. You know, I couldn't, before that event, you couldn't have told me that that was possible without an intercourse, you know, without an interaction on that level.
Thank you for sharing this because my experience was pretty similar, and I keep saying that for a woman, like we have so many spots inside
Mm.
that can be stimulated. But I can swear that during Kundalini awakening, I felt the spots I never felt in my life. I
Mm-hmm.
didn't even knew I had them.
Wow. Wow.
So there is like physical stimulation is only physical, right? It's just it has to be all together in order to, yeah, it has to be whole package. And
Mm-hmm.
then, yeah.
Okay. Okay. So,
And it doesn't even have to be physical. You
right.
see?
Right. It could even be energetic.
It can be only energetic.
Right.
Yes. Yes. And physical, it will become only if you want to reproduce, even though not fully, because we can reproduce, I think, girls,
Mm.
you know. But then if you want to reproduce a boy, then the gene is needed from the man. So I guess I'm not fully trained on that one yet, but I think it needs to come through the meditation. So you meditate with the partner, and
Okay.
it doesn't have to be intercourse. It can be done through meditation.
Wow. So conscious meditation with a partner, you're saying you don't even have to make contact.
No, like Mother Mary
Mm-hmm.
and Joseph and Jesus, right?
Mm.
Joseph meditated
Mm.
with Mother Mary, and then this is why, yeah, Jesus. Otherwise, it would be a girl.
Okay. Okay. So the immaculate
Yes,
conception.
yes.
Beautiful. Beautiful. Amazing. You know, it's just these things really expand you further in this realm of reality that we exist in. You know, when you hear stories like this, I love, hearing about these things. And also when you talk about meditation, even conscious meditation with a partner, what about the conscious meditation with yourself and the times where you seem to have fallen in love with this certain type of meditation called the Merkaba meditation?
Mhm.
What, when did you find the Merkaba, and how has that made an impact in your life?
Thank you for this question. This is very interesting story. So I have ordered this water for life from our friend Galina. She's from Russia, I think. And then I was so happy about this water. I received it at home, and I sat in my office. I put a few drops in my glass,
Mm-hmm.
and I hold the glass next to my heart, and I started meditating. And then all of the sudden, I felt like everything was dark and only like Markaba inside of me
Mm.
light up in gold.
Mm.
But it was so real, it was so fast that it scared me.
Mm.
And I actually stopped meditating.
Mm.
I didn't know what was Markaba. I had no idea. I just, now I know the shape and everything. But when that happened, I didn't know.
Mm.
And when Ellie Tam started teaching me, I started recalling that feeling. And then I really love playing with it because I love using my imagination. And then feels like when I need to do more with my imagination during the meditation, it won't escape anymore. You see what I mean? So I know I need to spin Markov, I need to do this and that. So sort of like makes me occupied.
Mm-hmm.
And then the result is huge. I really like how I was actually working, and I have some cute stories. When first time I program it with how do I name? I was going to Hawaii with my daughter, and my daughter is 20 years younger than me.
Mm.
And then I programmed Markaba with attraction.
Mm.
And then we were walking around Hawaii, and all of a sudden, like on the fourth day, I think, or third, my daughter was like, "Mom, I
Mm.
understand everything, but I'm younger than you, and why those guys are always talking to you?"
Mm.
You know?
Mm-hmm.
So I'm like, Markaba, Markaba.
You're like Merkaba. What can I say?
It's working, baby. It's working.
Yeah.
So,
So it was like it was working its magic,
yes,
you know,
yes,
the magic,
yes.
the Merkaba. So you even told me, I think that there were times where, if you ever wanted to get something done and somebody was around you, you could you could turn something on, you know, or you could make something happen with either the Merkaba or the Kundalini, and people would be persuaded by that energy. You know, you would see how it affected the world around you.
Yes, 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 yes. And going for this trip now, Markaba seems very handy for me. I don't know how else to say it. Meaning, I'm thinking like, what if we will be walking through the like mosquito,
Hmm.
you know, invasion.
Right.
What if I learn how to turn Markaba and then keep this bubble safe around me, you know, and just keep walking?
Hmm. Hmm.
I mean, there is so many ways we can use meditation for to make our lives easier, you
Right.
know, and doable. And
Hmm. Yeah, especially if we see it that way, you know, especially with that attitude, when it comes to it being a technology, you know, you could even see it as a technology. We utilize all these devices and these technologies to make our lives easier, right?
mm-hmm,
So we can
mm-hmm.
use ancient technologies, you know, energetic technologies within to also do the same thing, you know.
Exactly. Exactly. And it's all about practice.
Okay.
Practice makes perfect. Because, you know, I mean, if I didn't program it and I didn't pay attention, I didn't see it, right? But as much as I play with it and I use it for different reasons and I observe how it works, I will be trying more and more, so it'll be working more powerfully.
Right.
Makes
Right.
sense, right?
Can you talk about practice and the importance of consistency and repetition? Because, you know, I myself and I know some other people, when it came to qigong, when it came to meditation and different forms of relaxation, all these energetic practices, on some mental level, people, they have problems perceiving the energy or even receiving the energy or pushing past the barriers and the boundaries of their own beliefs. So
Mm.
how did your consistency in your practice allow you to feel things that were undeniable, that were unquestionable?
Beautiful question. Um, I have to say that I really have to enjoy what I'm doing, otherwise I won't touch it.
Mhm.
So I always do everything in very small steps. Very small steps. I mean tiny steps. Super tiny, like a snail. Super, super, super tiny. Even when I was binge eating, for example, I allowed myself to do it less and less each time. I
Okay.
didn't cut it completely, you know? It's I really like to do it both ways that way because I see that even when we falling, it also takes time. It's not happening just right away
Mhm.
in one moment. It takes time for your brains to think different way. So equally the other way around. If I like something, I just apply a little bit of it, but every day.
Okay.
And the turning point for me was when I read about 58 books 1 year
Mm.
and none of it was applied
Mm.
because I was just reading, reading, and thinking if I read a lot and have enough of knowledge, I will know what to do and I will know how to live. But at the same time, I realized that knowledge does not do anything for you if it's not turned into the wisdom. So it has to be used, it has to be applied.
Mm.
So what I realized was one thing I learned today, but I will apply it a million times during the day
Okay.
instead of whole chapter, but no time to apply.
Okay.
You know, so that way, and then I something that I like, so the meditation that I like that makes me feel good.
Right. Right. And then you would continue it, you know, you like
Yes,
doing it. Yeah.
Yes, and I have a cool story about yoga nidra, for
Okay.
example.
Okay.
It took me 18 months to actually not to fall asleep
Ah.
and hear what they're saying.
Mm.
18 months doing it twice, 3 times a day. So it shows us how deeply our nervous system is degenerated or used, or, you know, it needs time to recuperate, it needs time to heal, and then we need to give ourselves that time.
Mhm.
There is no rush, there's really no rush.
Okay. Okay. So giving your body that time, giving your mind that time to be properly aligned, it's like better to focus on progress than perfection. You
Yes.
know? Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Because we all have ideas of perfection and what perfection looks like, and we play that comparison game of why am I not there yet? How long will it take? You know, but
Yeah,
but if we just focus on progress, then we
but
can.
at the same, you're right, and at the same time, if you think about it, every single moment is perfect
Ah.
because you're having fun,
Hmm.
right? If
Yes.
you like it, even though that you might not know how to really well play on the flute now,
Yeah.
but as much as you know right now, it's perfect and you're super happy, right?
Right. Right.
Yeah.
Right. Because what is perfect? Right.
Mm-hmm.
Right. I love
Life
that.
is perfect the way how it is, actually,
I
right?
love
If
that.
we choose to see it, yeah.
Every moment. I love that. Thank you, Beata. Yeah. We have a question from Yasmin, one of our lovely spectators here. She's in the chat, and she asks you, what does programming or activating the Merkaba look or feel like when going into meditation?
um so how I feel like something inside of me is starting spinning very fast, and then I don't feel my body anymore. I don't know where I am.
Mm,
That stillness and that yeah, that bliss.
okay. Okay.
It's sort of like, I work with children, so I have a lot of ideas. Like when you have this toy that you like pull it, like you take it and you pull it
Hmm.
and it spins like zzz, and then like you're on a, a roller coaster that you don't feel your weight, you don't feel anything. It's just,
Wow.
and yeah.
Almost like you're levitating.
Yes. Oh, thank you. Thank you for saying this. Yes. Yes.
Okay. Okay. So like a weightlessness.
Yes. Weightlessness. Yes. Yes. Beautifully said. Mm-hmm.
Wow. Being a child specialist, and teaching children, what what could you hypothesize would have happened had you learned these forms of knowledge like early on and put them into practice? Because I love what you said, Beata, when you read 58 books in 1 year. You know, it's 52 weeks in a year. And you read 58 books. The average American, they say, reads 2 books a year. You read 58, but you still saw that knowledge without application was nothing. So I love that, you know? Yeah.
I think children are brilliant.
Okay.
And I think if we can just allow them to teach us,
Mm,
if we can learn to allow them to show us what they're bringing, what we forgot,
mm,
what they still see and we stopped seeing, or hear and we stopped hearing.
mm-hmm,
If we just have enough of patience and respect to see that and allow him to show us, everything will move forward quicker.
mm, mm-hmm. Oh man, patience is so key. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Wow. Thank you for bringing that in because that's so important to know, and it's so powerful, the lesson of patience. And as well as being patient with a child. You know, I don't have any children of my own, but I understand also when it came to being alone and being with myself and going through certain things in my life, it felt like I was raising myself. It felt like I had to be patient with myself. It
Yes.
felt like I had to be tender with myself. It felt like I had to be loving to myself, you know, and that was a weird feeling for me, you know?
Isn't that how we learn to love ourselves? This is exactly how it is. You have to parent your own self in order to love yourself. You have to become a child to yourself. Beautiful.
Wow. Wow.
That's the only way. Yeah, to be gentle to yourself, you have to learn how to parent yourself. So that would be the
Yeah.
first way before you become a parent, right?
Yeah. Yes. Yeah. Learning, you know,
Thank you so much for having me here. You always ask such a beautiful questions that keep expanding me. Thank you.
of course, you know, it's my pleasure. And you, before you leave, there was just one more a question somebody wanted to ask you. Would you mind?
I'm open. Yes.
Okay. So Yasmin asked, how do we stay in there without waking up?
In Merkaba meditation.
I'm believing, yeah, I'm
Okay.
believing she's asking that.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. So again, small steps. And when your mind is wandering, just slowly bring it back. Allow it to wander. When you catch it, invite back to the play. And as many times you need to do it, just gently, slowly do it. And one day, one time, your mind will wander less and less and less. But don't fight with it. Just allow it to come back slowly to the play.
Okay.
And then when it comes back, you sort of like starting all over again. And then it feels deeper and deeper every time.
Okay. Okay. So
Mhm.
it's all flow and no force.
No force. Because if you force anything, you create resistance. So
Right.
it's not going to work.
Right. Right.
Hmm.
Thank you, Beata. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. This has been lovely. You know, was this your first live on here?
Yes.
Oh,
Yes. 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 Yes.
you did it. You're a natural. You're a
Very special that it happened with you. Very special.
blessings, blessings. Thank you. Thank you for agreeing to be so open, to be so transparent in your journey. And, you know, we're just wishing you nothing but the best. And I know that where you go from here, it's only going to be even more expansive. So thank you so much for what you're doing, not only for yourself, but for the world at large. Thank you. Yeah.
Thank you so much. Thank you for your wonderful, beautiful heart, for your love, for your friendship, for everything you do. Thank you for being you.
Awesome.
I
So
love you.
much love, much love. So hopefully we'll see you again, maybe even, you know, during your trip or after your trip. Would love to see you again and hear more of your explorations. Yeah.
Thank you. Thank you. We'll see you soon.
Take care. Take care.
Bye.
Bye. Awesome.